as someone told me today, the fact that Gallagher's there is noteworthy. It suggests that the Vatican is thinking that there might be an opportunity here. The Vatican doesn't act lightly. They kind of consider situations with a fairly practiced eye. So that would give grounds for optimism.
The Vatican's most senior diplomat is in Moscow for talks with Russian officials over the war in Ukraine. Now, he's Archbishop Paul Gallagher. He's meeting Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov today before talks tomorrow with Yuri Ushakov, who is one of President Putin's foreign policy advisors. This visit comes just weeks after the Archbishop had been to Ukraine, where he had a meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky. So what's going on here? Tom Kington is Italy correspondent for The Times. How long has the Vatican been involved in all this, Tom?
Well, I think that the Vatican has been involved in diplomatic efforts to end this war since day one. What is interesting is that this is, I think, the first trip by Paul Gallagher, who's effectively the Vatican's foreign minister, to Moscow since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. He's a very senior player at the Vatican, and so it is interesting timing here, and it maybe suggests that the Vatican feels that there is really something that can be achieved right now.
Right. I mean, what might that be?
Well, business as usual, if you like. Faint hopes of a peace deal, but. It may be that they're gambling on the Russians being a little bit more prepared to come to the table at the moment, given their lack of huge success on the battlefield and the battering they're taking from Ukrainian drones. And I think that what the Vatican is always trying to do is position itself as a middleman, as a kind of honest broker who can come in at the right time and say, okay, if people are ready to talk, we could help that process. It's something the Vatican's been doing for decades, if not centuries.
Yes, I mean, I don't know actually how popular Catholicism is in Ukraine. I mean, is Ukraine a Catholic country predominantly?
No, and certainly Russia isn't either. And in fact, this is one of the problems facing the Vatican, is that its claim to be an honest broker would be readily challenged by the Russian Orthodox Church, which sees the Catholic Church as a bit of a kind of interloper here. And things were complicated by Pope Francis, Pope Leo's predecessor, trying to kind of open channels of communication with Russia, whilst at the same time rather putting his foot in it by once describing the patriarch of the Russian Orthodox Church as being Vladimir Putin's altar boy. Didn't go down very well.
Ouch.
There have been other rows as well. So that's definitely a wrinkle in the ointment.
Yes, but you are the master of understatement, Tom. Yes, Vladimir Putin, he's very close to the Russian Orthodox Church, isn't he?
Correct. Yeah. So that does complicate matters. If Vladimir Putin is to get the patriarch on the phone and say, "Hey, I think we're going to do a deal thanks to the Vatican," you might hear a click as the phone is put down.
Yes, all of which makes me rather less optimistic about the chances of success than I might have been at the start of this conversation. But what do you think?
Well, I think that, as someone told me today, the fact that Gallagher's there is noteworthy. It suggests that the Vatican is thinking that there might be an opportunity here. The Vatican doesn't act lightly. They kind of consider situations with a fairly practiced eye. So that would give grounds for optimism. Let's see how this pans out. The visit, as you said, he's got another meeting tomorrow, and then we should hear back from the Vatican and from the Russians after that. So let's hang on for a day or two, see what happens.
Okay, so we are expecting some kind of formal announcement at the end of these talks?
I think we'll get a statement from the Vatican, and Lavrov and Gallagher gave a joint press conference today. There were quite a lot of platitudes and normal kind of we would like to see peace, but nothing really sort of tasty. We could get some substance in the next day or two, and they will be speaking, I'm sure.
Really interesting. Thank you very much indeed. Tom Kington, who's the Times Italy correspondent.
С момента нашей последней встречи, это было 5 лет назад.
And I hope that we will be able to consider all the issues and will
addressed to myself, and I'm glad that it has been finally possible to make.
Мы поблагодарили наших коллег за взвешенную позицию по ситуации на Украине и вокруг нее, обозначили принципиальные российские подходы к урегулированию украинского кризиса на основе ликвидации его первопричин и подтвердили высокую оценку активной вовлеченности Ватикана в решении ряда острых гуманитарных вопросов в рамках конфликта на Украине. Подтвердили обоюдный настрой на продолжение двустороннего сотрудничества в этой сфере, в том числе по крайне чувствительному, так называемому детскому досье.
In a particular way, we also spoke of the tragic war in Ukraine, focusing on the possible avenues for pursuing just and lasting peace, as well as addressing the humanitarian concerns related to the conflict. Your Excellency, Minister Lavrov, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my gratitude. The Holy See continues to follow with deep concern the war in Ukraine and deplores the sufferings of the innocent. After more than 4 years of hostilities, the conflict continues to expand. The number of victims continues to grow. Many families remain divided, and the material and psychological consequences of the conflict affect millions of people in Ukraine and Russia. Let us be clear, this war must end. For this reason, during our exchange, I reiterated the appeal of His Holiness Pope Leo XIV to end the hostilities and to begin authentic negotiations with the support of the international community. Gratitude to His Excellency the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation for welcoming me. The position of the Holy See remains clear. The conflict cannot be resolved by military means. It is essential to create the conditions for a serious political and diplomatic process. Engaging in authentic dialogue implies a recognition of the fact that the longer the conflict continues, the more difficult it will be to arrive at an adequate resolution, while the sufferings of the population continue to increase. The Holy See urges both parties to demonstrate openness and goodwill so that such dialogue can become a reality as soon as possible. Yep.